Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 18 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I am running some power lines, getting some glass fiber cables running from this little area I'm right underneath where my extractor is. I'm running some power lines across this room. I'm trying to look for a nice place to go. So I'm probably going to want to run it like back this way. At least until I find my way to a little area I can break out through. And then probably straight down here somewhere. Let's see. How am I doing? Getting there? I'm making a mess. Don't mind me, just making a giant mess. I'm probably going to need more of these cables too than I have. Going to be a little bit of energy loss involved in this, but that's okay. I have one more thing to add to my system here, my little auto crafting sorting machine that does all the cool stuff. One more piece of the puzzle to add. What is that? Well, that's going to be a recycler. When you do automatic mining, you're basically going to run into a situation where you have just way too much stuff going on. Typically, this is in the form of dirt and cobble and that kind of thing, stuff that there's a lot of. And a recycler is a great way to deal with that. It is an IC2 machine, which means we're going to have to run some industrial craft power, which you can see we're doing right now. So that's the goal right here, right? Get us set up with some IC2 power lines running to the machines that are going to exist in this room. And we're going to build this such that the sorting system will deposit all the dirt and cobble upstairs first, and then the excess dirt and cobble will be recycled in my recyclers. Cool. We might even wind up going with a neat little system of barrels at some point, but for now, this will be a good starting point. So let's see. Gonna jump up here, thanks to these awesome boots that I have. Oh, right. I'm on a half block at the moment. And probably going to need a few more glass fibers. The reason I'm using glass fiber cabling, of course, is that glass fiber cable has a low energy loss over a long distance. So we don't have to worry too much about energy loss. There probably will be some. I think it's 1 EU every 20 blocks or so. So this is probably going to equate to like, a couple EUs worth of energy loss. And of course, I'm probably short by like 1 or 2 cables. Yeah, that's usually how it goes for me. Ha. Awesome. So let's get out of here. There's another thing I want to make soon too, by the way, because it would make this right now a lot easier. Hooray, I can jump out. Big old mess. But that's okay. This will also be nice because we're going to want some power on that side of the room anyway. So get ourselves one more diamond. And I'm a little bit low on silver, believe it or not. But enough to make another one of these at least. So yeah, glass fiber cable all the way if you're going to have any kind of long distance travel. Otherwise, you're going to wind up sending more EU and it's going to be messy. So there we go. And I like to light up my areas under my house, my little work underground areas, because otherwise you might get monsters spawning. Stuff gets messy pretty quick. We're going to want this guy traveling here, here. And then straight over to here. Nice. That should be good. Now let's cover this up and make it look nice again. So yeah, this episode, gonna get this piece going. Have probably a few things to get accomplished, and then hopefully, like I promised, get to my quarry. And once I have a quarry running, I'll be even better shape. It'll mean I can basically just, sit back, relax, and collect a whole bunch of materials. And we will, like I promised, be upgrading and getting to some fancier stuff down the line. Alright, so now I've got this fancy cable running all the way across here. Now let's go make ourselves some recyclers. Now they're really not too hard to make. They're pretty straightforward. You're going to need a little bit of glowstone though, so if you haven't been to the Nether yet, you better go take a trip. I'm going to go with, let's say, I want 2 or 3 right now, I'm not sure. Let me check. And I'm also going to have to cook up some refined iron, so why don't I get some of that going too, and I'll be back when it's ready. Oh, I got a little bit. Alright, so here we go. We're going to need a machine block and an electronic circuit like you typically need for most machines. And you guys have already seen me create the compressor. So that is a recipe somewhere along these lines. There it goes. Cool. Compressor. That's what you need to get started with. We're also going to need a couple more pieces of refined iron, and we're going to need some dirt around here somewhere. Is it something like that? This is really close to the recipe. Oh, great. There's a... Okay, that's what it was. Okay, that's it. Cool. Recyclers. Nice. Zombies banging at my door. Let's sleep through the night just to get them to leave me alone. By the way, this new sword is awesome. The one that I made last episode. Check this out. Boom. 2 hit on that guy. 1 hit on the normal zombies. Epic. And occasionally dropping heads. Cool. Alright, let's get the recyclers set up. So these guys go down here, and they do only run on low voltage current, so it's a good thing I have this line hooked up to the output of my LV transformer. Otherwise, we'd have an explosion when I placed that down right there like that. Cool. So the recyclers are going to take care of everything for me. It's going to be great. All you got to do is throw an item into the recycler, and it'll process that item, and there's about a 1 in 8 chance to create an item called scrap. And we'll see that scrap. There it is. Got a piece. Scrap can be used for a few things. Number one, it can be used as a fuel source. It produces a little bit of heat. It can also be used to create a scrap box. These are neat items. When you right-click them, it gives you a completely random item. So it's a really nice way to do that. You can also use it for fertilizer, and in a mass fabricator, it acts as an amplifier. And if you're not sure what a mass fabricator is, we'll get into those a little bit later down the line. So for now, we've got scrap going. Nice. I do want to connect up the system here, but I also want to be able to pull items out of the scrap box. And for that, we're going to need probably some kind of neat machine that'll handle that. So let's look into what we can do to get one of those going. Alright guys, time to make a retriever. We're going to need a filter, a piece of leather, a couple ender pearls, rather expensive this piece, some brass. We're going to need a blue alloy ingot, which is a good indication that this machine is going to require blue electric power, and we're going to get ourselves a retriever. Nice. This guy is going to be our way of collecting all the scrap from those machines. And I actually, while I was off camera there, went ahead and made myself a little bit more by way of... recyclers, just 1 more, not a big deal. Hey, I don't have any glass on me, that's great. Nor there. Where's all my glass? I must have used it all. Cool. Oh well, I'll take care of that real quick. Transmutation is the best. Gotta love it. Alright, so for now that should be enough pneumatic tubing. Let's head downstairs and take care of this. I'm going to put away these things. So the retriever, what can he do? Well, we've seen a lot with pneumatic tubes and how we can send items down and along the lines. The cool thing about the retriever is it can actually pull items out of an adjacent inventory, and it does this not even just adjacent, but any inventory along the line between the retriever and its destinations. So let's go ahead and get our screwdriver out of our bag and check out how this guy works. He's pretty epic. So we want to face this way. And what's going to happen is every time the retriever receives a redstone signal, it'll go ahead and pull or attempt to pull items out of this line. And you'll also note that he has a little color designator here, so we can designate what colors to do. There's also a mode switch here. I'm going to put it, it doesn't really matter because we're not going to specify, but you could, if you wanted, specify what items that get pulled out. Because remember, it's an upgrade to the filter. The filter has the ability to specify items, so does the retriever. The only other thing we need is blue electric power, which I'm going to get a couple pieces of wiring because remember we have a generator down there creating power for our sorting machines, so it should be very easy to add. Just need to get ourselves some of this stuff, and I might as well go make a timer real fast because we are going to have to pulse this guy on a redstone signal. So let's do that now. I'm going to need to make a timer real quick. Should be able to pull this off. Just need a few of these. Cool. You know what? I need some more materials for this timer, so I'll be back. There we go. Timer. Ready to rock. Alright. Cabling, timer, pneumatic tubes. We should have everything we need to get this system set up. The one other thing we're going to want to do eventually, and I'll get there, but we'll see. Hang on. Let's see. What do I got to do here? Do this part first. That should be all. Nice and easy. Never had such an easy time hooking up a wiring system. Cool. I'll replace this later. I know I say that. I'll probably forget. Oh, you know what? I could have my timer here. That should work. And I could even pulse it and turn it on and off if I wanted to. But, we're cool. So look, it's running. Nice. And it already pulled out my scrap. So the scrap's going to go. It's not really sure what to do. So it'll probably... Oh, wow. That's where you decided to go? Awesome. Okay, well, I have to paint the color for the scrap, so let's get a inventory set up. So I'm going to jump up here. Excuse me, guys. I have a new inventory set up for, it's currently got rubber in it. I'm going to store rubber, scrap, and any UU matter that I create in there. So let's find a good color that I haven't used yet on this system. So where are we? What do I got? I'm going to go look at my wool. That's how I always determine my colors. Good, easy way. So I've used these guys. Magenta I've used. Yellow, light green, dark green. Have I used pink yet? Find out over here. Nope, no pink. That ought to do. Could also use gray if I wanted. Pink should be fine. How do we make pink? I don't know. I'll figure it out. So let me come back in just a sec once I've got all the paint that I need and all that good stuff. Alright guys, we should be good to go here. Just going to place this guy, paint him pink. Nope, pink. There. That's probably going to be a problem. We don't want to leave that as is. Nice and easy to fix though. There we go. And I even made myself a nice hollow cover. Cool. Pretty looking. So that should get us everything we need to run everything to the pink line. Then all we have to do is specify the retriever to paint any items that come out of it the same color, which we can do right here. That looks good. Nice. So now, as we go ahead and have our dirt filter through here, and I'm just going to pulse this guy every 5 seconds or so. We don't need him running too often. We should start getting dirt, and this guy should be able to pull the scrap out and send it straight up the line there. Now there's a reason that I'm putting rubber and UU in here. You guys can probably guess if you want, but basically I'll probably eventually have a rubber production facility down here and probably some a mass fabricator, but that's all in good time. For now, I'm going to wrap up the recycler segment and start working on the quarry that I built last episode. Oh, you know what, guys? There's actually one component of this that I forgot to make. Holy cow, that was stupid of me. How did I forget to do that? Let's get it going, though. Gonna get myself a couple of pistons. One of these guys is a piston. There we go. Gonna need 2 of these. And get myself some wood. Get some transposer or 2. Come on over here, buddy. Wow, that was a quick kill. I like Smite. There we go, that's what I forgot. 2 relays. Yeah, we're definitely going to need some relays. Why is that, you ask? Well, good question. Let's also get ourselves just a few more pneumatic tubes. I don't think I have quite enough on me. We're going to set this up down in the basement on top of the recycler system. You know, I set this whole thing up and I completely forgot to feed items into it. Derp. So, recycler system, we'll set this guy up here. And here. The nice thing about these relays, as you guys know, they can automatically dump stuff into pipes. They can also just dump straight into a machine, so they work as a great buffer system. We're going to run this over to here. Do I have any covers on me? No, I just have the hollow marble covers. That's right, I can get some. Get myself one of these guys. Put that guy away. And I'm going to put a cover right on top here so that this pipe does not connect. Come on now. Do it. There we go. Beautiful. And we want to run this up and get him connected over here. But we actually probably want one of these things to be a... yeah, let's see. Cover up this flooring. Probably want a restriction tube over here somewhere. So do I have any iron on me? Nope. Why would I? Because we don't want anything to go into the recycling system until there's nowhere else for it to go. So we can see here, like, you know, we've got room in the chest for more dirt and cobble. But once that chest fills up, that's when we want to start recycling things. So by using a restriction tube, we can guarantee that the item just won't go into that until it's ready. Until it's all filled up inside the chests. So we'll put the restriction tube probably right here. If I really wanted to be fancy, I could put this through the wall. Ooh, that might be a good idea. Yeah, let me make this look nice. Alright, yeah, how's that look? Not bad. All I have to do is specify what items are allowed to go down here. That's the orange line. So anything that would normally go into like my kind of junk chest like that, the orange line is what's going to be allowed in here. At least, you know, for now. So this guy, like so. Orange paint matches with this orange paint. So first, it'll try and go upstairs into the orange chest with the cobble and everything. And then if that thing fills up, it'll bounce down and try and find another orange path to go down. And it'll be this one because the restriction 2 prevents it from going down any sooner than that when that chest is full. So tidy this up a little, and we should look really pretty fancy. Cool, not bad. Alright, so here's our fully cleaned up system. Not bad looking. Covers, making things look nice. Beautiful. So we should be good to go. The only thing I might want to do is have a block here just to make this look extra fancy. Alright, now on to building a quarry, and we'll see how this works out. Alright guys, I'm making a trek out to the cracked wasteland area. This big, ugly wasteland is a nice place to set up a quarry, because it's not a nice place to live. So I really don't have any plans of moving out here anytime soon. So let's go visit and see where we want to build a quarry at. Got a nice little world hole right here, get that cleaned up. I'd like to have my quarry set up to you know, interact with some kind of water system. So that's probably a good spot right there. Let's consider building it right here. So what I'm going to do is place down my landmarks. You guys have seen these quite a few times actually. And let's get this guy going. Let's see, what do I got in my bag here? So let's start right there. And that's going to be kind of the corner of my quarry system, I think. Yeah, it should be good, right? Shouldn't be too bad. Or do I want to actually move this somewhere else? I might want to do this somewhere else. Let's find... I'm actually going to do it over here, I think. This might be a better spot. Yeah. So let's run over here and find where this guy ends. Now these blue lasers will represent the largest area that this thing can connect to. So, oh wow, that's a lot further than I thought. Alright. Cool. Let's move it down a little bit. It's actually 64 blocks that we're allowed to travel. So how are we doing here? Pretty close. Alright, this looks better. So I'm going to have my marker placed right down here at this end, and then I'm going to head off in this direction. You can see there's a little small Thaumcraft ore node right there. Not that that means anything, but just kind of funny to note. They're really small in wastelands and deserts and just, like I told you guys, right, areas with life are usually much better shape than areas that are kind of like dead like this one. Yep, there's a good representation of a bad ore node that's really just small. It doesn't hold much ore. You can see there's only 180 here. Alright, so now that I've placed down my markers, I can go ahead and place down my quarry. Just need to turn off the redstone signal, right-click the markers to establish the actual area that's being represented, and place down the quarry here. Cool. Ta-da! Now you'll also note that it tells us at the bottom, the quarry will keep 25 chunks loaded. Awesome. Quarries are now actually automatic chunk loaders. Because of changes to Forge, which allow kind of any block to become a chunk loader, quarries are taking advantage of that, and they will automatically load the chunks that they are trying to mine out. So you don't have to worry about chunk loading your quarries anymore. Everything here will be an actively loaded chunk. How cool is that? I love it. So now we don't have to worry about anything. We just place down our quarry and we can get it hooked up. Now this is actually going to be a rather quick and easy setup, thanks to thermal expansion and a few other things that we're going to use. Remember my extra cell of energy that I told you guys about? I've got it with me. So that's going to actually power the quarry. Now that does have a limited amount of power in it, and when it runs out, the quarry is going to stop, but that's not a big deal. I can go recharge it at any time. And I'm actually going to build a redstone energy cell charging station at some point in the near future. The other thing we want to deal with is where all the items are going to go. So quarries will just spit their items out at the top unless they have a pipe to connect to, like this cobblestone transport pipe, or if there's an adjacent inventory that they can dump into. For example, a relay. Let's go ahead and put up a relay right next to this guy, like so. Cool. And the relay is going to hook up to the pneumatic tubes, which will then go ahead and send the items directly into the ender chest. Beautiful. I like it. And I want to grab myself a little bit of this stuff, because there's an important reason I'm grabbing that. you might be able to figure out what it is. So we've got a relay here, we've got our ender chest. So what's going to happen is when I supply power to this thing, and I'm not sure I'm loving where the relay is. Is that a cool spot or no? It's not bad. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and hook up our power system. Now, I'm not going to allow this guy to output energy just yet, but I will hook up the power system. I should have in my bag here somewhere. There it is. I've got some conduits. Good. But out of my bag, I'm going to need the crescent hammer. And we'll set up the energy cell. Cool. So the energy cell is not at the moment outputting energy because we have to hit that guy with the wrench, right? But there is one thing we want to do. You can see the energy cell here. We're going to set the redstone control status of this guy. And what that means is when the control status is set to enabled, the signal required is low. So in other words, when it's not receiving a redstone signal, it's allowed to output energy. If I put it to high, it'll say it requires a redstone signal to emit energy. But I want to keep it low because I want it to be disabled when it receives a redstone signal. Why is that? Well, that's because I brought with me a cobblestone structure pipe, one of these guys, and I brought with me a logic gate. Cool. And what I'm going to do with the logic gate is detect the adjacent inventory. So you can see it's detecting right now the conduit right there. We're not going to worry about that. Inventory full is what I want to detect. When this inventory gets filled up, so for example, I just threw some cobble in there and it went straight into the chest, right? Perfect. But let's say there was nowhere for this stuff to go. Okay, let's try that. Oh, it's still going to spit out and just land on the ground, isn't it? Well, let's see. It might distort in a kind of like internal buffer. Yeah, that's what it's doing. So what's going to happen is when we detect that the inventory is full, we want to emit a redstone signal. Ta-da! Now we're emitting a redstone signal from this thing. The reason for that is we want to say if this thing fills up, we want to disable the redstone energy cell. Okay? So we're going to test this in a minute. It looks like it's getting dark. But the reason for that is we want to basically say, hey, if you ever backlog up your ender chest as a result of mining too much and our sorting system can't keep up, there's some reason that chest gets clogged, we don't want the quarry to keep running. Otherwise it's going to waste resources and make a big old mess. So we want to shut down our quarry. And the quickest and easiest way to do that is to cut the power to it. And cutting the power to it is really pretty easy. We just disable it with that redstone signal. And I am making a run for it back to my house. Dude, look at that. One shot kills with this sword. It's awesome. Alright, back home we go. Sleeping through the night, and there was something I wanted to do back here. What was that? Well, I brought cracked sand home with me. Why would I bring cracked sand home? Because I do not have cracked sand anywhere in this system, so it doesn't know what to do with it. Hey, what's up, chunk loading? Alright, so I've added an orange column here, and I'm going to go ahead and specify that cracked sand can also go into the orange line. And what that's going to do is it's going to send all the cracked sand that I collect into that, miscellaneous items chest up there. And then any excess cracked sand, once that fills up, will also be recycled. Nice. So recycler's running. Everything looks good. Got an extra line of orange for more cracked sand. I think we're in good shape here, guys. You ready to go turn on our quarry? Let's do it. Now, the other thing I want to tell you guys about are recent changes to the way the quarry operates. It used to only accept up to a max of about 9 Minecraft joules per tick. So, a decent amount of energy, but not like a huge amount. It's actually been changed. Now, what it can do is it can accept up to like 50 or 60 or something like that, like a crazy amount of energy. And when it receives more energy, it's going to run faster. So let's clear out this relay. Actually, I do want to test a little something here. Let's actually keep them all in there because I want to test the actual shutoff to make sure the red alloy wire here is connecting properly to the energy cell. So let's set right now the output of the energy cell to 10 Minecraft joules per tick. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit this guy with a wrench, and he should start sending power in. And we're going to have a nice, cool little robot over here. He's going to start building the quarry frame. You can see he's got a blue laser indicating he's running at a decent power line. Nice. And he's creating this big old quarry frame for us. But now I want to test this out by saying, hey, emit a redstone signal. And that should cut the power. It's no longer flowing. And the laser's going to go from green to yellow to red, and then it's going to shut off. So he is losing power. So this build right here that sets to kill the energy to the redstone energy cell when this thing fills up is working perfectly. But let's clear it out. And I'm actually going to bump the power here up to about, let's say 45. Look at how fast he's running now. Awesome. And if I go ahead and connect my pneumatic tubing here again, we should start to see this quarry frame finish up. So this laser is nice. He's clearing out a bunch of terrain for us, making sure that there's nothing in the way of this quarry. And it doesn't really look like there is much in the way. And he's building the quarry frame for us, the structure of it. Nice. I'll come back when he's done. Alright, looks like the robot is finishing up his work. And you'll get to see a very fast quarry right now once he finishes up. He does slow himself down and kind of go from blue to green to yellow to red at the end there. But now we should see a quarry running very rapidly. Look how fast that quarry arm moves because we're sending so much energy into the quarry. So you can see a bunch of energy flowing in. It's already used quite a bit. But he's going to start cruising and just sending tons of stuff into our ender chest here. Let's see what happens. So once the arm is ready to run, up there it goes. It's getting into position. Like I said, I like to have water intersecting with my quarry because what's going to happen is we're probably going to get to a point at the bottom here where the quarry starts to hit some lava. And when that happens, it's a good idea to create obsidian, and then we start getting obsidian. Whoa, look at this stuff. Awesome. Massive flow of items going into the ender chest. The relay is ejecting it very quickly, like we would expect. This thing will shut off the power if it does backlog for whatever reason. Now, it's going to take a little bit for this guy to get past the first layer, which isn't consistent. But let's head back to our base and see what kind of cool things are going to happen there. We should start to see some things flowing around in our sorting system. You can see they were already being pulled out of the ender chest, which means it's working properly. But I want to go watch it back at the base. And here we go. Falling down here, we should see a bunch of items flowing through the system. Nice, it's already running. Loving it. So we've got a bunch of cracked sand flowing in here. Now, as we expected, the cracked sand will not be going to the recyclers at all until we get to a point where we've overloaded the system. There is going to have to be a little bit more power given to my recyclers, though. They're probably not going to be able to keep up with this massive influx of items. That's okay. We'll deal. So for now, we've got a good amount of cracked sand going here. And like I said, when it fills up this chest with the sand, that's when we'll have, some recycling start to happen. And then our retriever should pull the recycled stuff out, and everything's working great. I love it when it works. Nice. All right, I'm going to let this run for a few minutes, and I'll be back. Dude, look at this fast quarry. He's cruising. He's tearing up the landscape for me, which is awesome. Nice. We do have one little problem, though, guys. Well, gee, Direwolf, what is the problem? The problem is energy. This guy is draining crazy amounts of energy out of this redstone energy cell. 45 Minecraft joules per tick. Draining this guy super fast. So we're going to have to manually, for now, replace the energy here. I just wanted to at least get the quarry started and running. I wasn't sure how quickly we drain power out of this thing, but it's flying. So we're probably not even going to get too far in this quarry before this thing drains. So we're going to have to build an automated way of powering this quarry. Be it with some kind of engines, be it with swapping redstone energy cells back and forth and getting them recharged. There's a couple methods we could go with. I'm going to probably figure that out between this episode and next. But at least for now, our ender chest is keeping up with all the cracked sand it's getting. This guy's going to get discharged pretty quickly, though. I would like an easy way to get back and forth. Wish I didn't have to run between these areas. Still don't have a portal gun. On my to-do list. Need a nether star. Oi. So based on where everything is flowing at the moment, I can tell that my chest upstairs has filled up. All the cracked sand are going into my recyclers. Now you'll note that we've got this little three-way intersection here, and the reason for that is the same way we had it down here, so that it evenly distributes all the sand going into the recyclers. And these guys will act as, buffers. Now my recyclers can barely keep up with this. So we're going to have to look into a way to speed up the recyclers. There's definitely a way to do it, and it's probably, again, something I'm going to get to next episode. And with that, guys, I kind of feel like we've hit a good old wrapping up point for this episode. We did get very little mined, but it completely drained our redstone energy cell. So we're going to have to bring this back home and recharge it. But you know what? That's fine, because we're going to have to set up some kind of way to power this thing. Like I said, we'll definitely figure that out, though, between the next couple episodes. There's a few things we need to get to. So this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 18. Hope you enjoyed checking it out. Next episode, definitely need to power this quarry a little bit better. Redstone energy cell completely depleted is not good. And there's a few other things I want to talk about, like upgrading our recyclers to get them to run faster, keep up with the massive amount of materials coming in. I've actually discovered that my sorting machine is having trouble keeping up with the input of the quarry. Like, it just did not manage to keep up with it. So we might even tone down the energy that the quarry runs and just have it run a little bit slower, just to, deal with that. So, all right, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and take it easy.